Um, this fellow grew up in Norway. Where'd he go? And did fishing. He used to go up to some islands and fish, but he also built boats. And so when he came here, he built some of these boats. Now, the interesting thing about these boats is their design and style is almost identical to the old Viking longboats. And so that history stayed around for a long, long time.
Sure. And this was Hans
This is Hans, yeah.
or Hans.
Yeah.
And I imagine he's on ice skates on Koronis.
Yeah. And this is probably sometime in the late 20s, early 30s. He died in 38. So it's just a beautiful.
Yeah, and these boats are really something. So we can show a picture, just a real quick look at what the boat looks like. Yeah, that's quite a boat. So did he build more than just these two? Or
I think he did. I think he built a lot of them. They're, of course, all long gone. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, yeah.
But he bought what was a farm here, a 160-acre farm, together with his brother Thomas, and then they split it down the middle. Each got 80 acres, and then they bought another 40 out to the north here. Thomas was in the farm just next door here. The farm site is kind of abandoned now, but that's where he was. And they kind of farmed together. And then in 1895, they bought the land the family has at the lake.
Okay, and that roughly, where does that run today?
Well, it starts from about County Road 25.
Okay.
You know where Lyle Wendroth's place is?
Yep.
And you just come this way, and it doesn't go about to the edge of the old park. You kind of know where the tennis courts, or not tennis courts, but they're horseshoe.
Yeah, and the volleyball courts.
About in there.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, and then they kind of divided it. Thomas had that land towards the end, but then Hans had the other, and he and his wife left this place in 24 and built at the lake, and that house is still there. That's the one right next to where the road goes back for the boat landing. I think it's a brown house.
Oh, is that right next to the landing on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
And so that was the house.
That was a house that Hans retired in.
Now, did they buy the land then on this side of the road, on the north south side?
Well, they also had some land on the south side too, where the not where the campground is, but there's an area in between. Mike Anderson, and you know Mike?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mike bought that land. It's a 40. He's sold.
Yeah.
He sold. I think he sold off a little bit to the Jockeses, and I don't know. His sister Tammy, that just passed away, built the house in there, but anyway, that was family land, and then the land behind that, there was a third. There was a sister, Karin, who married a Jacobson. No related to all the other Jacobsons. This is confusing with Norwegians, but that's who we are.
Yeah.
And if you ever did you know Peter Jacobson? Not Peter Jacobson of Paynesville Press, but the other one. Anyway, he lived there.
I don't think so.
So anyway, the land, I guess we're focusing on here is the stuff along the lake.
The stuff along the lake, right?
Yeah. And that stayed wild for quite a while. And my aunt Louise built a cabin where Susan's house is now.
Yes, Susan Werner.
Yeah.
Yep.
And an interesting story about that is, I was told, obviously I'm way too young to remember, but her driveway gave you an approach down, and if you followed a lawn down, as a fairly easy access to the lake, so that in the wintertime, farmers would take horses and sleighs and then go across down that hill and across the lake, and they'd line up to the north side. There was a big hill on the north side. Tom Putsky took that down years ago, before maybe you remember.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And but they'd light up on that, and then they'd go to the right of that, kind of where Rittenhouse's cabins used to be,
Yes.
and then up, and I suppose into town.
Oh, and that was a shortcut
That was a shortcut because
across the lake.
there weren't any roads, and the roads weren't plowed.
Oh, sure.
It's just pre-snowplow.
Pre-snowplows.
Yeah. So.
And they would go down by Susan's place.
Because that's one of the easier accesses to the.
Okay, because it's steeper over by your place,
Yeah.
by Tom and Mary
Yeah.
Hendrickson,
Yeah.
and
Now it's not too bad at where the park is either, so I don't know why they did one or the other, but that's probably where the road tied in. I don't know.
right.
I just know this an anecdote my dad told me that's some winters. I'm sure it wasn't every winter. That's how they'd go to town,
Sure.
get supplies. And then the land kind of sat. They were put into lots, but nobody really in the family other than Louise, and then her sister Hannah, who married late in life. But
You don't happen to know who put them into lots.
well, no, we don't know. I think it was probably Hans and I'm not sure who divided them out. But
Okay.
they made them 80-foot lots, not exactly
Okay.
expansive. But then in the 50s, then there was more interest in the lake again. People started getting interested in it.
Sure.
There were farmers on the west end of the lake initially built her house. And, trying to think of what
So
else.
it was a good move, because I was going to ask what brought you back, but it was the small town.
Just a desire to
was
have
the
a small
area,
town,
yeah.
And this is a city girl. I mean, she graduated from high school, John Marshall, 474 in her class, high school. So, and she would come out here and visit me, and the cows would wake her up in the morning because there was a pasture out there. And I go down there, and the airplanes would wake me up in the morning because they lived in South Minneapolis.
They live in South
Yeah.
Minneapolis, so the plains, yeah.
Yeah.
So it
worked.
it worked.
That's
You
what it's
had to
it's-
sacrifice.
Yeah, it's good. It's working.
Yeah.
But he's 62 years in September, so I think we can say
You could say,
it's a,
yeah,
it's,
it's a little late now for a correction.
Yeah, well, she's thought about this, but she
Yeah.
decided it's
It's
really
too much work to get another one trained, isn't
Takes
it? Yeah, I get that.
20
too.
years to get him even remotely trained, and to put her at 103. That's
yeah.
not gonna work.
Yeah.
So
Well, do you guys get down? You don't get down to the lake too much
well,
anymore. It's a little hard.
we moved the land just to the west of where the Pederson land stopped. Was a small farm on the north side of the road that my mother's parents bought after kind of in a retirement. That's where the gazebo is
Ebo.
at the park.
Oh, at the park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's built on their property.
Oh, okay.
And we needed some sort of building to have as we're never going to live down there type cabin. But so then I had. Did you know Tom Putsky?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tom moved it for me.
Okay.
Interesting experience working with Tom. That's something, one of these treasured memories. You may not want to do it again, but it was fun to do.
But it was fun to do.
It's fun to do, yeah. And so who moved that down, I think, for $200. And we were really on a budget then.
Yeah.
And so we just, it's we have sleeping area. Of course, we got plumbing in there now and water and stuff, but it's not a luxurious cabin like some people have on the lake.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it works. It gets you out of the rain and the mosquitoes. And
Oh, sure.
got a fireplace in it. Had chimney built so we could have a fireplace, and it just we didn't get there much last year because our daughter Chris now was taking over that property, and she had a TBI here, what, 2 years ago? Yeah, she's a professor at St. Cloud State.
Yep.
Slipped at the back of her head and cracked it pretty good, and she's doing pretty good now. She's back teaching partial load, maybe full load in the fall.
Right. Well, and it's Chris that came
Yeah.
over with
Yeah.
you and Chris and I worked on
Yeah.
the
Right.
on how
Yeah,
to,
that's
how to
correct.
sanitize and
Yeah.
how to clean the harvester, the
Right.
mechanical puller.
Exactly. That,
And,
yeah, I forgot you had met Chris.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and she's doing well, but we just weren't there. Well, then the other thing that happened, we had that early, really high water,
Yeah.
and it was higher than I could really get the pontoon in. So when you got in about the 1st of August, we just said, to heck with it, and just kind of forgot about the lake. So now we're having to do a whole lot of work this year, which we are now finally getting to. So it's kind of a mess down there now. Grass is overgrown, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that'll be okay. Got the pontoon in finally, and we're ready to go.
Yeah. So now you just got to get down there.
Ready to get it down. And we timed it so we didn't really get down there until the mosquitoes are bad.
Yeah. Well, it was good planning.
I like that.
You remember mosquitoes like that when you were a kid?
No.
Or you just didn't bother? They
I
just
think
didn't
I
bother.
didn't bother. I don't know.
Or yes, either they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah. I remember one year when grain thrashing, when they were just terrible, and I think we put on the whip, we put it in our arms on some sort of insecticide we shouldn't have done, but you're young, you're dumb, you don't think about that. You're gonna live forever. But they're bad now this year.
Yeah, they'll come out in the kind of the early evening. They'll come out, but then they seem to kind of go away.
Yeah,
so that helps if you can get through that window.
Just don't be out there at that.
Yeah, don't be out there at that time and get back out.
I got a fogger and I got a new bottle of solution.
Yeah.
So that helps for.
That helps. Oh yeah.
few hours.
Yeah, it helps. A couple hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other stories about the lake that you remember as a kid? I mean, you could get down there and you did skiing and
that. I remember. Do you remember when they used to have the boat races at the park?
I do. I hadn't thought of that for years.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
That was a big thing for maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, these. I forget what they call these little. Not catamarans, or the little racing hydroplane.
Racing coffins.
Yeah, racing coffins.
Yeah.
They had that at the park for a couple of years.
And it seems, if I remember, a lot. I mean, a lot. They're homemade.
Yeah.
A lot of them could be homemade.
Yeah.
They weren't big. Who organized that?
One of the fellows was on that park board at that time. For instance, it was a Carey, maybe last name, and then it just kind of dwindled, I think.
Yeah,
the other thing
I remember that. I had not thought of that.
Really big at the fair, or the park, was the 4th of July. They had big 4th of July celebrations down there.
Yeah,
and that I have a quilt that I won at that, because I was born at the end of June 26th, and so my dad went down for the park thing, and they had a raffle for this quilt. So you bought a ticket in my name,
and you won,
and I won. So we just kept that.
Yeah. So do you still have it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know what they're going to do with all these treasures of mine when I'm gone.
Yeah, I know. That's always the question.
Somebody will get it.
What is the connection then? So the park was purchased by the park, but what made Nordland so connected with that park? That they had the Mission Fest, or was that just the nearest park that they could do?
I think that was probably it. The fest used to be at different places. There was different farmsteads. It was at I.J. Anderson some years, and
okay.
over here at Christensen's. And then I think maybe when the park got established in the 20s, and the fest had been going on for a long time since then, and they decided they just needed more space.
Okay.
And that would be it's a public grounds, and they had the
Sure.
auditorium and everything. It worked well for them. So they had that, and that was, I remember those fests used to be just great, because I'd go on and find my buddies that roam around on the land, and just had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the buildings are gone now.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. The auditorium had to come down, but after I knew they tore it down, I didn't go there for a while.
So when you say auditorium,
the one that had the seating in it, and they had the kind of rounded roof.
okay,
Yeah,
all right, that's what I remember. So, and I remember being in there, and my wife tells the story that they were in there, and there was it's raining like crazy, lightning and thunder, and a big tree went down right next to
I
that
know exactly
building.
that. When that storm hit, we had left the fest and then gone over to our cabin, and the wind was so strong there that this barn we'd put in old windows in, so they were but we actually had rainwater blew under the door and around one of the
Yeah,
windows. Yeah, that basswood came down right next to the building.
yeah,
I guess that was pretty scary.
yeah, yeah. I don't I I don't know. I don't think I was there, but she was there.
Yeah.
She and her sister, and they remember. They still talk about that tree going down.
Yeah, yeah. And then I don't know how this came to be, but who Fred Marshall was the congressman from
Yep.
this area, and he and my dad knew each other very well. So Fred, there was his initiation. What got a bunch of funding, government funding, and that's to expand the park. And then my dad kind of worked with family members, and because my grandparents on the west side got bought out from that, and my uncle Henry and aunt and uncle Hannah and Jerry got some land sold, and so that's how they expanded the park.
Sure.
And he was kind of the financial negotiator.
Fred Marshall was.
He was the congressman.
Oh yeah, but your dad
my dad did the heavy lifting.
did the heavy lifting to make it.
Fred just sent the checks.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah.
So, and he was, of course, heavily involved in that initial park establishment.
Yeah. No, I haven't. There's a book about the park?
Oh. Yeah, they have them.
Okay.
Olive Zoller is her name. Her previous maiden name was Olive Nielsen, and they lived on the farm for a while. As you go towards Nordland, there's kind of an overgrown farm just off to the left, just before you get to church.
Yes.
That was her home place. And then her dad got out of farming and became a carpenter in Wilmer. But he was one of the principals on forming the park board. It's the same place. They turned it around. It's between the where the auditorium used to be and where the dining hall is now. There's kind of a path in there. And there's a rock.
There's a rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Supposedly, don't know. I mean, Joe Nilsson always said, "Yeah, there's your dad's idea." He's given that credit, but don't. The number of these people, my dad, Joe Nilsson, Peter Bersham, all went to this Aggie school, University of Minnesota Aggie school, and apparently one of the strong teachings there was community service.
Sure.
So when they got back and they could see, by that time in the teens, Lake Shore was starting to disappear. It wasn't. It used to be all kind of public stuff.
Yeah.
It started to disappear, and so they saw the need for a park on the south side of the lake,
Yeah.
and they got no,
Yeah.
no,
And that was kind of the impetus. How do you get more people to
yeah. And
enjoy
they used
it?
to put
So,
on my parents. I think were dating at that time. They would go like I think of some building in Holwick, different put on plays.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean they were pretty basic
Yeah.
plays. Put them on and just try to raise money, and then
Yeah.
they sold shares and got us started. So there was enough there that when Fred came along with a bigger checkbook, they had something to build onto, and they bought uh, the land of the south where the campground is now. That was not family land at
That
all.
was not family
No,
land.
no.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Where the 40 was originally slated to go to the park, but then my uncle Jerry decided no, he wanted that share, so that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mike Anderson got it, and he's happy he got it, so
Yeah.
it works out fine.
Yeah.
But, that could have been part of the park.
So, okay, so I have quite another question for you. This is probably the most difficult question that you're going to get from me today. If you stand on your shore and you look out at the lake, is Third Island to your right or to your left?
Third Island, I believe, is slightly to my left.
Okay. Good answer.
Is that the one? Is that what you've been saying?
That's what I've always learned. But your sister one day announced that that was First Island because the islands went 1,
Oh,
2, 3.
that was a retraining thing for all the people south of the lake.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, there used to be 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, and
Yeah.
no, it's not. One is, and if you look at, there's a stone carving on one. Have you ever seen that on the east end of it? It says First Island, island farthest out, First Island.
First Island. I haven't, but
Yeah. No, I know that it got started. I thought that she, because she goes back farther than I do. She remembers that as
she
yeah,
did.
Yeah.
She did. We were at
What? Yeah. Well, this is interesting. There used to be a cabin on First Island,
Oh, really?
and that's that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Any idea who the group is?
Oh yeah, their family. The way they're dressed, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you that, but that's the way it is. That is my uncle Pete
No, you.
Pedder. He and her. That's Annie. That's his wife. He worked for AT&T in Chicago. That's my Aunt Louise that had the cabin. That's my Uncle Louis. And this is Annie's sister, Selma.
All right, and we should just at least show which picture we're looking at so we can see it. Yeah. No, so that isn't.
I have no idea.
Well, on first.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's not at the top, but it's probably
No.
you go up a little bit, you got a flat area. I guess it was up. I guess it would be up in there.
Yeah, I was trying to remember where I've seen kind of foundation over there on First Island, and it got confusing because for years on that first platform
Yep.
is where they were shooting off the fireworks.
Right. Yeah.
And at that time the fireworks were being shot off by the community.
Oh yes.
And they would dig all the mortars in. So there were all these kind of, and they did, just because they dug them out, that didn't mean that they filled them back in. And so you'd get up there, and there were all these kind of rows of holes where all the
Yeah.
mortars had been dug, and they just left them. So I was trying to think if there was a foundation up there, but on the lower level, I don't remember ever seeing any kind of a foundation.
Anyway, there wherever.
Yeah, wherever it was.
This,
Yeah.
and you can see even at that time, it looked like it was maybe falling somewhat into decay. I don't know. Um,
I wonder who built it. Well, this, because I don't know. I'd have to ask Dave Heike when his dad bought it.
Oh yeah, obviously this picture I'm sure goes back to the 30s.
Yeah, so it goes back probably before that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really that's I had no idea. That's really interesting. So we've seen this, and this was family.
That's just family.
And this
there.
is just one. Is this one of the? That's one of the boats.
No, that's
that's a different boat.
Yeah,
and we don't know who made that. There were other.
Yeah, and I have an old. My Aunt Louise had as a strip boat, and I remember those. They always leaked a little bit.
They always leak.
Yeah, and they're heavy.
You know who made it?
No, I don't know. I'm sure it goes back to the 30s, and finally she stopped using it and just bought aluminum boat.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was just too heavy.
And the reason that I asked is I found out that Bill Henderson Sr. built mini boats,
yes,
wood boats for on the lake.
Yeah, this would be predate.
It'd be before Henderson doing that.
Yeah. That one, that's some of the cattle that used to be down at the lake. This is taken about where the boat landing is now. You can see how low the lake is. Shoreline is probably normally about here. And those are actually Guernseys. It'll look like it.
Is this the boat landing or is this the beach?
This is the beach. Boat landing, I'm guessing, is about here. It didn't exist then, obviously. But
well, no, I mean, is this a sandy beach? What today is sandy beach?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, but there was a boat landing in here then.
Well, that's what the boat landing they built. But the boat landing is now. That's about on the lake. This is about.
Oh, so this is a steep hill back over here.
Right back here, it's pretty steep.
Okay, all right. And that's the cow picture.
This picture is just that's my aunt, my dad's cousin, Clarence Storley. I'll tell you a story about him. My dad, my aunt, and I don't know who that is. This is one of these sort of, you can take it for what it is, stories, but he and cousin of my dad's, I guess he used to be together all the time. He'd be here all the time. They're just good friends after my folks come here. And one night, he and some friends were going down to Hutchinson. It must have been fairly late. And somebody ran a stop sign and hit him and killed him. Okay. My mother woke up at about that time, felt some rustling, something in the room, and that's all. And that's about when he died. Now you decide what that means.
Yeah, yeah.
She was not the type to be into a cult at all, so it isn't something that would be natural for her. But it's just interesting. Yeah,
it looks like they've got fishing poles or what are they?
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're doing something. Looks more like they've got sticks. But it's the lake, and the lake's in the background.
Lake's in the background. This is another, not a very good photo. That's my dad sitting out on the end, where you would expect him to be.
I don't know if you can see that.
This is
and that's at that same place. So that's where the launch would be.
Yeah, but down by her cabin, I think.
Yeah.
Cabin.
Yeah.
This is 1930s bathing beauties.
Oh, see, and that would be probably second island over there, but.
Well, I think that's probably
first. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's third.
I think it's third.
I think it's third.
Yeah. Or is it first?
Yeah, I don't know. We thought we had this figured out until
Well,
we had that
I had
conversation with your
forgotten.
sister,
You revived a memory about.
and I continued to give her a hard time about that.
Yeah.
I felt obligated to
Yeah.
to help her.
At least everybody agreed for Second Island was.
That was we got there
That was the
quick.
common ground.
That was the common ground,
Yep.
and first
Second
to the
Island.
right, first to the left.
But yeah, it used to be first or third, and I think that's well established now. But
Yeah.
it's interesting in this carving. I don't know if you've ever seen that stone. It's on almost.
Well, it must be on the point down here on First Island. You said, right?
It's on the one opposite.
Oh, is it on shore?
No,
Close to shore.
it's on the point that's the farthest east, northeast corner. You know, the bar goes across.
Yeah, till it goes over to Alexander's Point.
Right.
So
yeah.
it's over on that area.
On that end. And it's done nice chiseling work. It's just on island farthest out. First Island.
First Island. Okay.
Or something. Maybe the wording is exact, but something like that. And so, and these other things are just scenes kind of show you.
But they're great because they show pictures of the lake, of the islands,
and the family using it, you know.
Yeah, and oh, see, and that must be.
What does that say? Yeah,
Feet on.
So I don't know where. Obviously, not everybody agreed with the old story. Dorothy wouldn't be the one to tell her she was wrong, but this obviously is the current First Island also. So I don't know. But I've heard them numbered the other way. And I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. And here's a
I'm not even quite sure who those people are. Significance.
But it's a pretty old style sailboat.
Yeah.
And more beauties.
More beauties, yeah.
More beauties. And this is interesting. Do you remember the lake before the outlet was in? I don't know when that went in. I imagine the Corps of Engineers or somebody.
No, that was a big. I think a lot of it is in that booklet. I think that story's in. There's a big about maybe after the First World War, someplace in there. They started ditching downstream. The area across the road was just kind of an extension of the road.
Okay.
I know Philip Bear talked about driving a wagon just along the lake of the road, and he could see where boats were crossing behind him.
Oh, sure.
Between the what we now is Koronis and whatever that they called that little bay before that. And it got to be a big fight, and it started to wash out a little bit, and it almost got to be a physical confrontation. They finally, I think, got the maybe the state to come in, set a level, what the level should be, and then once they got that settled, why they built a structure that we
built the dam. What the dam?
And the old structure is still there. If you've ever looked at the new dam, Mathewitz, in his infinite wisdom, when he built the new bridge, the bridge is wider than the old opening.
Oh.
And if you look in there, now this is all on film, so I'm going to be in trouble, but if you look down in there, between the old abutments and the new ones is an area of, I don't know, that far maybe it's farther. And he's piled rock in there, but it's only piled so high. So if the lake gets high enough, the spillway widens out by about maybe 6 feet.
Oh.
And he did that because Matthewitz's property was pretty low over there, if you remember, and looking after other people also. So if the lake gets super high, the spillway
expands, and it can get rid of more.
And that was not made public with the farmers downstream because they hated that spillway anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it yeah, and I was thinking that he probably, when they built it, probably had to leave kind of the old structure. There must have been some kind of a structure
Oh,
that
the
held
structure,
back water.
yeah.
You couldn't take that out because the water goes so fast.
The old
You couldn't do work.
the old dam is still there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
couldn't do work if you took it
No,
out.
no, absolutely not.
You know, yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking it would just gush. You take it out and whoosh.
That reminds me. At one time, they were trapping carp down in that
Mm-hmm.
area, and they had the electrified
Yep.
stuff, and they were going to the, and summer job I worked to help handle that a little bit, and I remember we were trying to chase the carp out so we could load them, and Jack Bugby had on a pair of waders. And if you've ever been in waders when you're up to close to the top of the wave,
Yeah.
you understand how
Too
stable you are.
too often.
Yep.
Yes.
And he went and he was up to the grate, kicked it underneath the grate to get those carp out. Well, they all came at one time. They all hit his feet, and he went over and went down like a rock.
Yeah.
And
Then fill the waders,
yeah,
and then you can't get up.
you don't come up real fast. So
No.
we got Jack up and
Yeah.
survived. But
Yeah, I have pictures of
yeah,
them doing that
yeah,
that my dad had taken. So I remember
oh,
going out and watching.
that was a big thing. And then the regulations have changed. It used to be nobody could fish in there. Well, now nobody cares. So I
Yeah.
guess the wisdom of the state of Minnesota
Yeah.
continues to expand or something.
It does. Yeah.
I think.
But you can't. But apparently you still can't take game fish from on the over the dam and put them back in the lake. That's another whole
Don't get me
story.
started.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
another whole story.
Yeah, there must be a different species or something that live in the.
There must be.
But if they go over the dam themselves, you still can't put them back, right?
No, you can't.
Okay.
I know. I hear about that when I talk with the local fishermen. So
They are very frustrated by that.
yeah.
So,
do you remember? What do you remember about the Rumble Bridge? Other
oh,
than it's always rumbled.
well,
Other than now it's gone and we don't hear it anymore.
I can close my eyes and hear it anytime I want.
Oh yeah.
But that is, main thing I remember about it was in the springtime. Then you used to get a lot of sunfish.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was spawning or what they were doing, but it'd be a car you could drive through there. People down there fishing.
Oh,
And
all the time.
That's gone. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I remember that. Other than that, and just the sound of it. I know people even that lived across the lake. Can't remember who it was that lived, but they could hear it all the way across the lake.
Oh, I think I've heard that before too.
Yeah.
Do you remember out at 55 where the inlet is?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't want to age you, but do you remember the old bridge there? Do you remember? I don't remember.
I remember much more than is there now. Dorothy remembers when the road went, when the channel is
Where it went the old way.
Yeah. And they had a lot of the pillars were still in there, posts were still in there.
Yes.
And then they had a project. They went and cut a lot of those out so the fishermen could get up all the way to 55.
Right, because I remember. I think right after they built the launch down there, the access. My dad telling me, be careful now when you go through that area, because there could be pillars and stuff.
And there was one. We had a fellow. We got talking to him on the lake. He was in a bigger boat, and he tried to launch at the park, and he couldn't get it off the trailer. And I tried to help him. I took a rope and helped pull, and wouldn't come off. So went on our way, and then later on we went. Must have been for a ride, or we were in the car. Anyway, we saw, and he had gone down to the other 55 landing, and at that time a lot of fishermen would kind of fish in there. So he went off to the side and he hit one of those and stuck it to the bottom of his boat. And he was down there just working on it, and well, I remember his wife there, so worried and freezing. So I went to Hilltop and got him some coffee, and he had a handsaw, and he was sawing that thing off, and that thing must have gotten sealed up enough to get it out of there. But yeah, if you weren't careful, it was bad. They should have removed that
When they took the bridge
took the
down.
bridge out.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't, but
Who knows?
yeah, who knows?
Yeah. What do you think, Esri? What other
Yeah, just
what other
it's
kind of, I mean, any
better
stories
just
you got?
fire stuff at me. I remember
I mean,
you remember when Vans Beach was a swimming place to go?
mhm.
Yeah, you know they parked all the way up the road.
Oh yeah.
That was a bit of slide there and a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't I did I saw a picture. One of the pictures that you had on yours was the old slide.
Yeah.
It was huge, and the
Oh
tower,
yeah, yeah.
and it was just huge, and
Yeah.
I kind of remember a slide there. But see, that's where all the swimming lessons. You know, I was a town kid, and I would come
Oh yeah.
out. I came out for all my swimming lessons at Vans,
Yeah.
and over in the sandy part on Vans, not where
Yeah.
where Veterans is, but over at the sandy part. That's where everything was, and yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
remember
those
it was
slides
as
are
deep
gone.
there.
There used to be one on South Park here.
Yeah,
But the liability laws took care of those things.
yeah, I remember there was one there too. So
Yeah.
yeah, now we just get little slides.
Yeah, we got to be.
Well, you had a slide on your dock for a while, didn't you?
I
A
did.
green one.
I built it for a granddaughter,
Yeah.
and now the granddaughter's 17. She doesn't want to use it much anymore.
I know. I know how granddaughters are. They. Yeah.
You know, anybody that's looking for a slide, a dock slide to just.
I don't know. I might be.
Okay. Yeah. Just don't be shocked by the vegetational mess that's around there at the
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
okay.
You're probably
Thanks.
beyond that, but maybe the.
Well, but Esri's the oldest, and she's 24. Okay, she's 22.
Okay. So what's the youngest?
2.
Oh, there you go.
2. He's 18 months. It's about as close.
Yeah.
It's 18 or 19 months. Yeah. So we have this big range.
Yeah, and it will set.
And we're lucky.
It'll set fine. I used to have a clamping system that cut the year we had the high water. Waves came in and actually washed that thing off the dock and
Yeah.
broke a bunch of stuff. But if you want to take it in as is condition, I would be delighted. Keep it the family that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll look at it.
Oh, she'd be very excited.
I've been trying to figure out how to get a slide on their new pontoon boat.
Well, maybe it'll fit on this. It's not light. I built it fairly
Yeah,
heavy.
yeah. I know because it's got a wood frame around it.
Yeah.
So, I might have to have a cookie to help me think.
It's interesting. Before we met, we both had a personal connection. Her dad was a Methodist minister, and he can do a summer camp a lot at Koronis.
At Koronis.
Yeah. At the assembly camp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was go to the
Oh, sure. Was this back in the woods or was this up? Well, so when they took you to the craft, it was that up by the lakeshore, or was that in the cabin camp that was back in the woods? On the lakeshore. Okay.
The buildings, those cabins.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And if they're not, there was a connection to a ministry.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
A minister's son. Couldn't be campers.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh.
So that impressed me.
Yeah.
That age is-
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. And
my brother was old enough. Been there, but then by the time I was old enough to be
mm. So and that was as at that time probably a Methodist camp that they came in to, because at that time there would have been an EUB.
Yeah.
Koronis was an Evangelical United Brethren campground.
Little did they realize they were going to merge in a few years.
Yeah, they didn't know.
Oh, I know.
it was owned by
Right, right, and that was EUB. Yep, that's how it was started. Talk a little bit. We were talking about the story on the 4th of July and how important it
Yeah.
was. What was kind of the plan? The family would get together on the 4th.
I guess that by the time I really came along, that had kind of diminished.
Oh, okay.
Maybe after the war.
I think it was the pack
Yeah.
of lunch. I
Yeah. I spent an awful lot of Sunday afternoons down in that ball diamond.
Oh, down at the park.
Yeah. Oh man, that was the thing to do. Well, one thing I also was going to mention about the assembly ground. My dad tells the story, and I don't know who the politician was. I thought it was the governor, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway, he talks about how he and his dad rode from the South Shore up around to the assembly grounds to hear this fellow speak.
Okay.
And I don't know when that was, but it just seems like the roads must have been pretty bad to row that far.
Yeah, to row that far, to want to row that far.
I don't know. No, I think it was in
Probably in
the old building.
the tabernacle.
Had been there a long time.
Yeah, long time.
By the way, and I think you were involved in this. Very nice job of putting up a new usable building that still kind of makes you feel like the old one's still there.
Right. And it was purposefully done in such a way to make you feel that way. Have you been inside?
I have not.
It's beautiful. It's really nice.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It's really nice, and you get the same kind of feel because of the glass window, the way it's all displayed.
That overlooking the lake.
And that was just what they wanted to do. So
was it just sawdust or wood chip floor before?
Originally, it was sawdust, wood chips.
Yeah.
And then it became tar.
Okay.
But I can remember as a kid sitting outside because all of the windows were screened. They weren't windows; they were screens, and then they could raise that
Yeah.
up to let air flow through. And the only place there were actually, I think, glass windows then, years and years ago, was just on the top. I think you call it a cupola. It was like
Yeah.
an extra little piece that was on top, and that's where the glass was.
Okay.
But it was on the side, so that was very normal for 1 week out of the year. The EUB churches in the state closed, and everybody was required. All the pastors were required to come to the assembly grounds. I mean, that's the name, assembly grounds.
Oh yeah.
And
We
they
all
all would come
yeah.
to the assembly grounds, and they had services every single night, all week long.
We had several years when Nordland had a Sunday service out at the Tabernacle.
Sure.
When was that built, Tabernacle?
Oh boy, I'd have to pull out some old books. It was getting up there in
yeah.
age. It was yeah. I don't remember it not being there. So it was
Well,
built
you're just
before
a
I was
child
born.
compared to some of us,
Yeah, that's it. But it was yeah, it was interesting to have everybody there. And so and it had been that way, I think, because I've got pictures that go back earlier than that see it was through that my mom knew so many people all around the state and became friends with all these pastors
Sure.
and stuff because she had gone to the camp, and that's where everybody was
Oh
during
yeah.
the summer. And
Yeah.
so
I think everybody just embraced that place, even though whether it was their church affiliation or not.
yeah, I think so.
Now the Camp Koronis, the back stuff, that was done later, wasn't it?
Well, right. So I think what happened is they had too many. They wanted to expand it to the youth groups, but they still wanted adults and stuff over on the shore, on the lake shore. So then they built all the buildings way in kind of back in the woods,
Right.
and then that was all where the junior kids and stuff were at. And that's why I was asking you, because when I went to camp there, the arts building was in the middle of back there. It wasn't up front.
It might have been since I was
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just-
it could have been.
I think that was done
The
later. I'm
girls
pretty sure.
enjoyed
Yeah.
Sure. To look after. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do they kind of have
didn't mind it either.
a mini campground across the? They say they got some places for campers to. Is that if they're there for another reason, or what is that all about?
You mean
It's right next to the road.
Oh, right next to the road. Right. So they put that in because they were having sometimes when people would come to camp, they either parents or other part of family, and they wanted a place for either trailers or tents. And so that's where they put that space. You can't go over where the baseball fields are because it's all pretty soft.
It's pretty soft. And do you remember when you could drive from there and across the road that went past Foreman's and came out then on the Tolman Road? That road used to go all the way through there.
I know the road.
Yeah.
And I've been on it with snowmobiles.
Okay.
But I don't think I'd ever been on it in a car.
Earlier it was a car, but
where you go in and you just got straight.
Yeah.
And it's straight and it curved around and came out.
And I think the assembly grounds people obviously discouraged use of that.
Yeah,
road
they
for the
didn't want
public.
you to use
No,
that. They didn't want to make it.
It makes all kinds of sense. So
right.
But that's from yesteryear.
Yeah. And that's where my only deer hunting experience was.
Oh.
Because I knew Bill Mans and he was on the board.
Okay.
And Bill would get permission to go deer hunting back in there.
Oh
Didn't
yeah.
get anything.
No,
Neither
no,
one
that's
of us,
okay.
but
But
that.
you at least you've been out and froze you know what off for about 4 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And so you
It
understand
was
the whole experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Get up early,
You
go
couldn't
out
pull
in
the
the dark,
trigger. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
and then sit there until you just couldn't stand it anymore because you had to go to the bathroom so bad. And I think I went out there and I hunted and for about 2-3 hours, and I went back and took a nap and went back out the rest of the day. That was a big hunter. Yeah.
I used to love to hunt pheasants. That was my, just live with that. I don't do that anymore either, but never really got into deer. I went a few times.
Yeah, that was it. That was
Yeah.
my one experience.
Never had. I think what Linda Listman is doing though is awesome, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I think it's really going to be
Yeah.
nice.
If you've ever
Yeah.
been through that property, it's.
And it's tying in with the lake. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
thing.
absolutely, absolutely, and I think there's some drainage through there. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, there's actually some holding ponds
yes.
that are back up in there that are trying to hold some of the water back that comes out over through. I got to
Almost off
think
the
of
golf
the.
course, isn't it? Eventually?
Yeah, I got to think of the family name that's down by the lake shore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's the house right next to the grounds property.
We went and walked through that one time with Linda. At one period, going back in history, Linda and I, or us, from Paynesville, and then we met with some other people in Cold Spring. We formed, at that time, the Minnesota Land Trust was forming chapters around the state,
Okay.
and we formed this St. Cloud chapter, which um, was fairly good size. And then I ended up as, for some strange reason, uh, chairman or president the first few years, and that got me on the state land trust board for a few years, way back in the early '90s, I think. I was a very interesting experience. But that's how I got a chance to walk through that land. Is that we spent a Sunday afternoon with Linda walking through there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, do you remember any of the what resorts were around? There was Bugby's. There was
Whoa,
there
man!
was
Well,
Marvin's.
on the south side, that time my uncle, there was 3 cabins on the Lake Lat property we're talking about that he
Yep.
rented out, and then there was uh, Johnson's Bay, which was just to the west away. He just rented boats, so it really wasn't a resort.
Johnson's Bay.
Yeah, Condra Johnson.
Oh, there we go.
And then you got around the lake, was Cush Tolman's. You remember Tolman's?
Tolman's right down at the
Yeah.
bottom of Tolman's Hill.
Yeah, Tolman's, and then um, Bugby's and Marvin's. Marvin Holeifer had the resort next to.
And that was that was as you go around the lake, that was right before Bugby's.
It's between Bugby's and the Butler Estate. That was
Yes,
Marvin's.
Marvin's, right.
And it shows what happened to lake values. I remember who was telling me this. But when Marvin Holeifer decided, what? But by the way, Holeifer is a name I have associated with that cabin on First Island. I don't know.
Oh,
but
okay.
That Marvin wanted to get out of it, put the resort for sale, and he went to Jack. Jack could have bought all of that land for $50,000, and can't do that. Can't afford that. So it shows how times have changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was that. There was let's see, as you going around, there was like a Elm Hill or something there. Well, there was of course Vans.
Right. There was Vans.
Well, but then before that,
Before that, was there one called Grandview?
Grandview. Yeah, that's one.
And then there was one. What was the other name you said? Echo Hill? No.
Elm Hill or
Elm Hill.
or something like that.
There was
past Vans, kind of where
like the top of the hill. There was Grandview, and then at the top of the hill.
It was over there, you know where Huckstra's built that cabin or house. You know where the parking lot is for the Paynesville Park,
For the Veterans Park.
Veterans Park. Yeah.
Oh yes, okay.
Okay. If that road goes and then it turns to go up the hill,
Yes.
as you go up the hill to the right, that's where this Elm Hill or something was. Those
Oh,
cabins. If you look at some of those cabins, you can see, yeah, I bet they used to be cabins at one time.
I'll have to do that.
There's one in there, and then there was one on the where the inlet came in. Oh God, what was his name?
Down at the inlet.
Yeah, can't think of the guy's name. He's a relative of Bob. He's on the watershed board, I think.
Brocklers.
He's a relative of Brocklers.
Okay. All right.
But there was a bunch of them. I think people renting cabins. There was I think 15, 20, you know,
Isn't
and
that
boats.
interesting? They
Yeah.
weren't real big.
No, they weren't big. Yeah, no, they weren't real big. Sorry, just to the east of where our land is, it's kind of as you go down that hill. There used to be a little ice cream shop, and I guess you could buy poppets of Darby's. And they said during the Prohibition times, you could buy all kinds of stuff there.
Which way? Going to the east?
Going to the east from our property.
You're not thinking of Birch Beach store.
No, not that far.
Not that far.
Just as you kind of got the bottom of the hill, there's no idea. You have no idea that anything was there now.
Interesting.
Yeah, Mrs. Darby used to sell ice cream cones, and single dip was a nickel, double dip was a dime, and I used to love that ice cream cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now, did you go to Birch Beach store?
Oh yeah, a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, that came in there. That was neat. I feel sorry to see the state that the store is in right
Yeah.
now, but that's you live long enough. Some of the changes are great. Some of them just break your heart.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, like, 'cause I remember when there's different family line, but the Hendrickson farm used to be right there on the lake. You know where the road kind of goes off down. Jack Hennon had a cabin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a farm, Hendrickson Farm.
Oh, that was thus the name Hendrickson Point.
Yeah. Not related to
Not.
the Chester Orwell.
Yeah.
But there was the Doug Hendrickson, if you know that name. He's a descendant, but yeah, that's all gone.
Yeah.
Somebody
But
bought
that
that.
all used to be farm.
Sparkling Shores was called. And I think they bought that land. Developer, they were selling that for $80 a foot. Can you imagine?
Well, it sure went up from 15.
Well, it did. Yeah. People started getting wise to it, you know.
Yeah. 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 And last I learned, no one's making more lakes.
Well, there is a new one across the road here, but it'll be gone in a
It'll
few
be
weeks.
gone in a few weeks. Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
That's right. So, you know, it wasn't a Mark Twain thing, buy land, they're making any more of it.
Yeah.
Same thing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the people, you know, they're coming out of the Depression when nobody could afford to buy anything. And it took until probably the 50s to really kind of get. And I saw in my parents, and I even saw it in Dorothy, she'd wash out plastic bags, she'd fold aluminum foil, she'd do all of that stuff because they lived through that, and that's just what it was like. I had the good sense to come along 2 years after they put indoor plumbing in this house.
That was good.
That was, I can't even imagine. You know, he had chamber pots. They got a few of those around.
Right.
Andy, but that was just a different thing entirely.